And I'm back for the before and after for I, Tonya. Directed by Craig Gillespie, haven't seen anything that he's done. And written by Stephen Rogers. I don't know anything about him either. This movie stars Harley Quinn and Winter Soldier, aka Margot Robbie and Sebastian Stan, and there's also Julianne Nicholson and more of the people. Check down below. So I, Tonya, basically about the 1994 skating incident. It's pretty intense. I mean, I don't know much about it. I read about it when this movie came out, so that's intense. Margot Robbie got nominated for Best Actress for the 75th Golden Globe, so there's some acting chops right there. So who knows? Is she gonna get her first nomination? Has she been nominated? I don't remember. But anyways, I watched a few clips here and there. Some pretty intense Oscar moment in this film for sure. And it does create an interesting narrative of who's telling the real story. So looking forward to that and seeing how this director is going to pull that off in terms of cinematography and the directing. So yeah, I mean, it's a free advanced screening. Came out on the 8th in the States. I don't know when North America is going to get it, or Canada or whatever. But yeah, I'll check back later. Expectations not really there. I'm just like, it's Margot Robbie. What can she do? Let's check it out. So that's it. This is the before, and this is after. He showed up late. Anyway, so pretty. Actually, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, it was entertaining. It's intense, good overall. But I guess it's not something that you would want to. You need to watch again. But it was more like, hey, look at that. There's a good movie, I guess. Granted, I think Margot's acting was good, but then I feel like Allison Janney totally stole the show. But granted, like Billy said, her character is pretty one-dimensional, which I agree, because she just like F-bombs, just angry mom, but really inspiring, sort of like try to make you feel inspired type of thing. But anyways, Sebastian Stan, I definitely can see him in any role that Matt Damon can pull off now. Like basically every time he's in a documentary, he feels like a Matt Damon. And speaking of the documentary, I really enjoyed how it was shot and how they tried to play off the who's telling the real truth here. That was really fun because it's sort of like meta, where they sort of talk to the camera while not in the documentary sense. So that's always interesting. Props to the editor, tons of great editing here. So yeah, I mean, Allison Janney was great. And then we got Bobby Cannavale in this, so it's pretty funny how he's in the hard copy as the reporter. Mckenna Grace plays young Tonya, and she's just great. I mean, just more dramatic, more crying, just building her resume after Gifted. And also Paul Walter Hauser playing Sean, pretty hilarious. And I cannot believe the lines that they took were actually from real life. I love that, because he's like a counter-terrorist agent. So right after credits, get a live recording of Tonya doing her, I think the Olympic one, and then we get snippets of documentary interviews with the cast in real life. So that was kind of fun. And overall, I mean, it's a 2-hour film. I definitely say it felt longer near the end. Like if they trimmed off 10-15 minutes, I think it would have been much more. I mean, granted, some things dragged in terms of like you establish things and you just keep going over and over again, like sort of the domestic abuse sort of thing just kept going on and on. But I guess it's just sort of to reinforce how the relationship was so bad, but yet she still stuck around. I guess the Sean stuff took way too long. I feel like they could have skipped or trimmed down the whole actual assault part and the incident. And I mean, overall, I don't know, I just feel like she got overshadowed, but I guess that's better in a sense, because sometimes I feel with Best Actress nominations, it's always in the film where they have a standout performance and everyone in the movie is not as great. I feel like there was a subtle build-up of her acting, but I think, I don't know, everyone was just fine. Like, they sort of met your expectations. They did a pretty decent job. No one just felt awkward. I think you expect, actually, I don't know, I think Sebastian Stan sort of surprised me, but at the same time, when you remind me of Matt Damon's acting, it's not that big of a deal. But at the same time, it's like, oh, you can do drama beside Winter Soldier. Because I mean, what has he been in beside Winter Soldier? He was in Martian, but he was hardly in that. And he was kind of useless in that. So at least here he can go like, hey, I can do drama, guys, or just if you write a Matt Damon role, put me in it, do that. So yeah, I mean, props for the writer, I guess, and the director, because I think cinematography-wise, it was pretty decent. It kept you interested in like the actual plot, because basically it's not that interesting because it's domestic abuse and just like her being just a diehard skater, and that's it. But yet it's shot well enough that you sort of just, you're engaged in a sense. You're not like sort of zoning out. I feel like this could have been easily a film where you just zone out. So anyways, that's it. I found out this actually plays in Toronto on the 22nd and expanded to select cities on January 5th. So actually this advanced screening was pretty advanced. So thank you Videomatica for that. And yeah, that's it for this before and after for I, Tonya. Later.